and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. Today we are doing every kid's dream job, and we are going to name colors from the branding color palette. I say that's every kid's dream job because I and my sister, at least while growing up, dreamt of getting to be the person to name nail polish color shades. And so I feel like what we're doing today, is very much the same vibe. And I initially came up with the shade names for our trio of brand colors, these three: fur and firmware, cash only, and cloud computing. And I kind of thought I was just being cutesy silly about it. And then today I had a meeting with one of my bosses, and he was like, actually, it was really, really helpful while I was putting together, he was like coding for a game. And he said that having shade names for our branding colors was really helpful. So we're going to come up with more. I already have started. Initially, my idea was to, as you can tell, come up with like techie names, like cash only, cloud computing, and fur and firmware. I wanted them to be relevant to some degree. So like the green cash, like money, cash is green, but then obviously it's like it's wordplay, like caching data. Because I'm sure it's so much more clever and appealing when I have to explain it to you. But then fur and firmware, like a fir tree, like, I don't know, I thought that was cute. And then cloud computing, it's just like cloud colored in my mind. And so then it's like a cloud. But as you can see, okay, the new ones are, I have Luck of the Iris, which is kind of like not the strongest name, because not only does it not have anything to do with tech, that's arguably not necessarily like what iris purple would look like. If you look up iris, like the flower, it's in the realm of what they look like. So I'm not mad at it yet. And then for the maroony color, I kind of was all over the map with it, because in terms of like naming the color just based on what color it is, rouge works, maroon works, crimson works, and then figuring out some sort of fun play on that is the challenge. Right now it's rouge 1, partially because, so for starters, Rogue One, Star Wars, that feels like it's kind of pop culturally relevant, fun. It feels like it fits into our brand umbrella a little bit. And also, for a bit there, like Rogue One first came out when I was in high school. And so, I mean, I've got the I before E rule down, but the O before U rule, that is non-existent. But that dictates whether or not it's rouge or rogue. That one was a doozy. So this one is kind of me poking fun at myself more than anything. But I think rouge 1 and Luck of the Iris need some retooling. I just have lavender labeled. It definitely needs a different name. If I scroll down here, so you can see this color right here. This is, so when I was looking up what irises look like, I was kind of curious because all of the purples, basically, there's some sort of floral name scheme for most of them. And this one is like basically spot on lilac. Like that is lilac. Whether or not we're going to call it lilac, I'm not sure. This is what I call the iris is maybe wisteria. Oh, no, not at all. Hey, not at all. Wisteria is way closer to lilac in tone. So never mind. Forget everything I just said. But But it also doesn't matter because like the floral naming scheme doesn't really work for this vibe. Like I want to stick to sort of the tech relevance, but it was pretty hard for me to scrape together 3. So now putting together 16, yeah, that's going to be a toughie. 16 in addition to the 3. We've got this yellow, is sort of a butter yellow, which is very much in vogue. Thank you, Pantone color of the year. But I don't want to call it butter yellow. This orange is giving Cheeto dust a little bit. Not quite. I feel like Cheeto dust is definitely more fluorescent. But that's kind of something I was thinking about. We've got so many different reds. What's going to be interesting is naming those. But another thing that's on my to-do list is to start like coupling colors, putting together colors and fonts that go together, making little packages, themes. So that may be something that's a bit easier to do on live stream. First and foremost, though, I do feel like a sort of Neapolitan. The reason I haven't done it yet, I'm now remembering as I'm copying and pasting, is because I thought if I name them all, then it'll be way easier to put them with all of their shade names in their packages. But I guess I can just start. I can do that later. This right now will purely be sort of I don't know, deciding of the vibe. I think those go together. Initially, these two, like these were all supposed to go together. Well, not necessarily these. These are all very Nickelodeon. These 4. And that is not by accident. God, that is just a crazy color scheme, though. Should we knock one of them? Should we stick with orange, green, yellow, and throw a neutral in there? I mean, we already have that. Yeah, what if we... Or... We're using now this... Yeah, let's put together trios for now. I think that's pretty fun. Let's do something with this red. It's one of those things where I opened up my branding guide today and this red sticks out like a sore thumb to me today. But I think why it's incorporated is because it's my little live bug. I think that's the red I used for the live bug, and so I added it in. But wait. Look how pretty those are together. Ugh, I love that, actually. I really love that. And then we could throw fur and firmware into the mix. I really like Christmas. Can you tell, maybe? I have a duffel bag. I'll actually just shout out. It's a Baboon to the Moon duffel bag is the brand name. And I think Baboon to the Moon has some of the most fun colorways. And I would say it's like a maroon with like a pink, and then it's got like a a periwinkle in it, and I am so in love with the colorway on that I feel like it inspired me to start throwing like browns and maroons into stuff when I design. So I feel like this is loosely inspired by that vibe. This, or there's a really cool North Face backpack from a couple seasons ago that is like a boysenberry maroony color, and then there's sort of a sagey mint. I know sage and mint are kind of contradictory, but it's like but it is what I mean. It's like a sagey mint color with then like a lighter lavender. I really like backpacks and duffel bags that are color blocked and have cool colorways. Can you tell? Okay. So we've got that. The thing is, the idea behind this branding guide is a little bit like we want people to see a Driven Catalyst app and be like, that's a Driven Catalyst app. And I don't know that this trio is feeling that way. But what if I did that? I don't know that didn't really change it, but it made me like it more. So we'll leave it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty. Okay, what else? Should we let this one be Nickelodeon-y? Or wait, I guess this is the one that's Nickelodeon-y. And then those three. I think those three go well together. What if we threw fur and firmware? Ooh, yeah. I like that. Wow, it's so wild the way everything changes everything. This having a different color background just really... I don't know. Yeah, this green is not looking like a green in this color palette, which means I don't think it's well suited for the color palette necessarily, because I want all of the colors to really complement each other instead of washing each other out, and I feel like those were washing each other out. Color theory is so crazy. Really getting into color, like I guess color theory as it pertains to color seasons, and that is also just so crazy, because I mean, it definitely, I think everyone should do what sparks joy when it comes to dressing themselves and such, and like what colors they wear. But it is crazy. Like, I feel like I'm wearing this, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm wearing this purple today, and I do feel like purple, like I feel like I started wearing a bit more purple because I thought maybe this is in my color season. And so then there's sometimes that maybe it's just placebo. I like gaslight myself into thinking like, you know, I think this may be my color. I don't know. It's just like a fun thing to think about, I think. And then the moment it stops being fun, I think everyone should not think about it anymore, because it's, I don't know, don't waste your one precious life trying to follow rules when it comes to what sparks joy when you're getting dressed in the morning. Yeah, okay, wait. And then on this color palette, I like putting colors together that are sort of like jeepy is how I describe it. Um, what I mean by it is like rugged, but I call it jeepy. Golly, this is pretty irritating that I have everything grouped. Because once I got everything formatted and spaced right, I grouped it all. And so now I'm having to fight against my own groupings. I hate it when I do things for my own good and they end up slowing me down. Okay. So we're going to do those two. And then I'm going to grab this brown. Yeah. I love those colors together. I feel like we could benefit from some cloud computing too. Okay. I feel like I could just sit and do this forever. And I'm going to end up coming with too many combinations. And they're going to start becoming redundant, or there's just going to be too many. So I think I should stop now. Let's do a final brainstorm on some of these. See if I can come up with anything just while I'm sitting here. And then we'll wrap it up. Okay. Like, what are some different app words? Oh, I joked about, there is this, and this will probably be funny for any software developers or anyone who knows anything about code, ? I don't know. Because it quite literally means nothing to me, but it tickles me every time. There is some sort of something to do with code. I think it's like a coding software. Beats me, y'all. It's called a Red Hat 8 ? What a silly name. And then the logo is like a fedora, like classic, like think like the fedora meme style fedora. It's called Red Hat 8. And that, I don't know, that amuses me so much. And so I do think that one of these is going to have to be an homage to Red Hat 8. This one is the one that makes most sense. So we'll figure that out. Like this one is just giving SpongeBob. The orange is giving Nickelodeon. I do need to figure out if we're going to go full send and commit to just puns or silly like silly easy stuff, or if we're going to try and work out some sort of techie tie-in, because a mix is going to feel weird. It's going to feel weird to me. It'll bother me if it's not consistent. So but that's what I'm working on. And I'm also going to we're going to pair fonts, we're pairing colors. This is basically like, it's like the TikTok trend, my dream date, great, or whatever. This is like actually like my dream job, great, except like minus the great, because it actually is like, this is my job. That's so fun. But yeah. When I was in my morning meeting and my boss was telling me that this would be helpful, I was so over the moon, because I am very much like the woman who does my nails, my nail technician, she sort of teases me because every time I get the same color. There are two colors. I have two shades of red. I have a red for the spring and the summer. It is number 638. Red Mars, and then I have, or Mars Red, I don't know, and then my fall winter red is Red Ferrari, or Ferrari Red, and it's number 630, I think. But I am very much just like, I like what I like, and because I am so particular, I have like it's easy to know, like, and have the number memorized and the name committed to my memory too. And so similarly, I feel like I have the opportunity to really make these iconic and memorable, and I don't want to squander that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really just like a thing that people who do go get their nails done do. I feel like there's what's the word? It's like pop cultural Rolodex is how I always describe it. Lexicon, because Rolodex and lexicon sit in my mouth the same way. The words do. A lexicon of like iconic nail polish colors, like Cajun shrimp, bubble bath. I guess those are the only two I can really think of besides the ones that I actually get. But yeah, I like the idea of this becoming more of a general color naming scheme. But I don't know. For some reason, that feels a little vulnerable to be coming up with little color names that are just general cutesy names, and then like being in branding meetings and having to like call the colors by the names I came up with. I don't know. It feels sort of vulnerable. But it is probably what I'll end up doing. And I think Luck of the Iris was a good place to start. And I do think Rouge One is funny and cute. So I think we'll keep it. I guess we will be extending beyond tech and more so kind of settling into the vibe of Driven Catalyst as a whole. Like this orange does feel like I should name it almost funny enough. A little bit of me does want to pay homage though to one of my favorite books has the word orange in the name. So then there's things like that too, where a little bit I want to pay homage to things that I just love already in life and think that would be cutesy too, but I don't know. Like I've never been given such a fun task. That's a lie, but I'm just excited about this. But it's such a daunting, clean slate. It feels like the possibilities are endless. So I will maybe fill y'all in if I come up with some good color names, and I feel like y'all have to know about them. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will check back in tomorrow. I was supposed to live stream yesterday, but it was not the vibe, and it was sort of gloomy out, and I just didn't want to hop on live. So I said, you know what? We're gonna come back Tuesday, and we're gonna have better vibes. And I hope I was able to supply the better vibes today. Certainly the better audio. I had been having audio issues, and I think my levels are all set correctly today. So I'm gonna double check in like afterwards. I was going to say in post, but I think things are running smoothly today too. So I hope it made the live stream worth the wait. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of the week till I see you next, and goodbye.